Hello, my name is Joseph Evans, and this is one of the first projects we did in university. So this is my first year. It was a project on web development, so making a website. And this specific project required us to make sort of an eBay-like website where you could buy and sell things. So you need an account, you need to be able to create listings, and it was a pretty interesting one. So we had to learn about a lot of things for this one. As I sort of first go into HTML, we use PHP, databases, SQL, a little bit of JavaScript, and we use a server called WAMP to run it all. So this was one of the first projects in the first year, and the first time working with the web. So there was quite a lot to do. It was quite a big project. So to learn basically how HTML works, first time seeing it, how databases work, sort of the basics. It's very simple. And how PHP works, and I've never come across this before. And due to the sort of size of it, this site in particular isn't too good. It's we really didn't have enough time, to be honest. We had a few months to do it, but of course we had other modules as well, and we had so much to learn before we could actually put it into practice. So it's pretty incomplete, and it's got some problems and weirdities that are just, these days I look at it and it just doesn't look right. But it's still quite interesting. So certainly not a good representation of my sort of skills these days, but still an interesting project. So let's get into it. So we're on the homepage here. It's got its own nav bar. It sort of uses they call it 960 grid format. So it's sort of got like a column in the middle. It's got some listings and loads of buttons to press. So we need to register or log in. If we go into the register form, you can see it's quite long. I'm still using the database from when I made it 3 years ago. I've just imported it. So we've still got all the listings, 'cause it took quite a long time to make, and I didn't want to make it just make a new one for a demonstration. So let's log in using one of the old ones. If we can get that. Wait, I'll demonstrate this. It's got like some basic JavaScript checking, and also server-side checking as well. What do I put for this? There we go. So we're logged in. So one of the first things you sort of notice is some of these images are missing, which is interesting. And that's not really sort of a glitch in the database. It's actually because if you go to the listing, this is where you create a listing, you actually just upload an image URL. It doesn't store it on the database. I wanted to do that, but I remember running out of time. So that's why some of these images don't load. Let's go onto our page. So first thing, none of these details are correct. Please don't use any of them. They're just sort of randomly entered by me. But this is the sort of user page, and you can do quite a bit on it. You can edit your details. It sort of pre-fills it all out, and that'll change. A little glitch here, you need to fill in this. I can remove an F from my name if I got that wrong or something. And my name is changed. You can see my listings down here. Let's have a look at what the listings look like. So this is sort of listing page. You've got a couple of buttons, and because I'm the owner, you can edit the listing or do something. Interestingly, it posts everything, which is, well, looking back on it, is clearly a mistake because there's no URL here. But it is a bit strange. Ideally, you want to be using get to do that. But and also this sort of isn't, there's not like a proper system here. You've just got to call whoever owns it, and that's that. Let's go back to the home. There's also some searching. You can search for keywords, and it sort of does wildcard searches. So search a pen, we should get our red pencils. View product. Lobster, uploaded those. You can sort of search by category as well. Search for clothing. And there we go. And these are the most recent listings. So there are those. And there's all queries a database, an SQL database. So that's that. Let's log out. Here's some of the source code for the project. You see it's written in PHP, and it's a bit of a mess. I was again quite new to programming at the time, and certainly wasn't using best practices. You can see like these giant blocks of things. You just put those in a for loop. Certainly make this better, and it's like that for every single page. There's lots of weird things. But yeah, it was fun to work on. But you can sort of see that the breadth of the project, even with quite simple functionality, it really started to eat away all of my time, and I just ran out at the end. But it was a lot of fun, and I really learned a lot about developing for the web and how the web works really. You can see you've got some SQL queries and things. Here, the binding and looking at like security things. This isn't very secure, and it's obviously not hosted on the internet. But yeah, a really fun project, and that's that.